Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Before starting, subscribe and like the videos, it really helps. The content from this video are taken from the web novel and manga series of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Now please enjoy the video. Part 5. There is nowhere to hide such a large doll. The consensus was, after looking around the house twice, there wasn't such a place. I thought there might be something in the garden we haven't accounted for, but there was nothing. There were the doll's footprints in the snow, but that was it. Therefore, an idea comes to mind, that there is a room hidden somewhere. The house was made to be symmetrical. If we go looking for a part that's not symmetrical, we might find something. I thought so, and tried looking for a dubious place while checking the floor plan on both floors, but I couldn't find anything. I mean, the inside of the house is too dark. Even if there was something unusual, it may go unnoticed. It might be better to re-examine it at noon tomorrow. We agree with Cliff's idea and decided to search again the next day. Before the search, I brought the doll back to the Magic University. If you look at the bright side, the doll that has been found is quite old. What looked pale is originally a white paint that had started to peel off due to mold. Are you Master's new doll? I thought Julie would be frightened, but there was nothing to worry about. She is looking at it curiously. Do you want me to clean it? I heard that. It seems she was sometimes tasked with cleaning Zenoba's newly purchased dolls. Zenoba says, it's to deepen the appreciation of dolls. It seems the best way to clean and polish a doll is by wiping it down with compassion. She received a good education. How can we get it to move again? After searching the mansion, we'll examine it. It looked like Zenoba couldn't wait to start researching this doll. I understand that feeling. I understand it, but I want you to calm down. For now, the doll had been sealed in a box which I made with earth magic. It would be bad if Julie got attacked while we are not here. Part 6. I came back to the house. I purchased a large number of lamps to light all of the rooms. I crushed all the possibilities that I hadn't considered when I first came. I also examined the fireplace. I stuck my head inside to have a thorough look. Did it change? I finished searching the fireplace while knocking down some soot and spiders' webs. Then, I noticed the cause of my discomfort yesterday. The floor wasn't stained with soot. As if something had done the cleaning, everything was neatly wiped clean. When I think back, the cloth that had been sewn to the doll's feet was black. Each and every night it might have been cleaning the house with that cloth. No, the house would be stained by using such cloth. Black is rather, by any chance, that cloth, was it a magic tool? No, let's put that on hold. Now then, upper floor, ground floor, basement. The basement is still suspicious. I brought a few lamps into the basement. Since they could use up the oxygen, I left the door open. I considered the possibility of something being hidden in the middle of the stairs, so I examined that as well. In the deserted space of the basement, I arranged the lamps. Look, it's amazing, it's bright like the afternoon, is what a person from a fairy tale might say. When it's this bright, I can tell just by looking. The edge of the basement, the wall which was made with a wooden board, I didn't see it clearly when we were using only 1 or 2 lamps in the dark, but with this much light I could see clearly. The corner of the wall, it had a dark square. It is a hidden door. I'm sure you wouldn't be able to tell it was there in just a bit of light when it was first made, but thanks to the passage of time, the part which opens and closes got dirty, and it rose to the surface. On the ground as well, the portion where it opens and shuts is clearly carved out. All right, let's enter at once. Cliff was excitedly moving to open the door. In preparation for an attack, I looked ahead to the door with foresight eye. But Cliff stopped moving immediately. What is it? I don't know how to open it. Since he said so, I also took a look. There isn't a dent that is common among things such as sliding doors, nor is there a doorknob. Even though that's the case, it's not like we can push it open either. Shisho, shall I break it? Zenoba's proposal, but I shake my head. Although I could repair it, I don't really want to break it. I look at the ground. The trace of the door opening and closing is left there. It is certain that it opens. The door opens on this side. Nothing. And, I noticed that one trace was slightly different. The trace which opened the door begins with the third piece of board of the left. A piece of the dark wood door slips off. And there a little storage drawer opened. The ninja village that I visited on a field trip during my elementary school days. There was a hidden door there. I remember the feeling and try to push the left edge. A G sound let out. However, it does not open. Heavy. Zenoba, try pressing here. I let Zenoba push it. And then, the door made a kiririkiki sort of creaking sound as it rose and opened. The sound in the middle of the night, was this sound? On the interior side of the hidden door there was a doorknob, probably to make closing it from the inside easy. I do not think there's a trap, but there might be something, so please be careful. I went inside while saying so and lighted up the inside with a lamp. The possibility of a trap or a surprise attack ended as imaginary fears. There was a small room. One desk, a single wooden pedestal. That's all. On the desk, several books and ink pots were placed. As for the pot, the cover is broken, and the contents have evaporated. On the pedestal side I'm not sure what words would be good to describe it. It might be similar to a coffin. It's like a lump of wood the size of that. I have the feeling that the surface is dented in the form of the doll. After looking closely, in the place where the head goes, in the part where the eyes would set there are transparent stones embedded. I felt intuitively that the doll in question had slept here. Most likely, that doll lays down here and recharges. No, it probably supplies magic power. Cliff, do you know what this pedestal is? No, this is the first time I've seen it. Cliff shook his head. I touch the pedestal timidly. I don't think it will suddenly shut on me, but I stretch out a hand to a certain book disregarded on a desk. I understood that it was left unattended for a considerably long time, but, fortunately, there was no trace of being worm-eaten. Would the doll in question do the insect extermination? The cover had a title and a crest. The title isn't readable. When I open it, the text is also not readable. If it's in letters that I can't read, then that means it's either heavenly god language, or sea god language, or else it might be written in some other minor language. But I have a feeling that I have read both the crest and the letter somewhere. Where was it? Was it at the Magic University Library? I turned the page. Then there were some figures. The figure of a human body, it's a figure of the magic formation. Furthermore, the human figure where there are 4 hands and feet appeared when I turned up a page. Zenoba. Yes. Zenoba, who was waiting at the entrance, came towards me. I think this is what was written in the doll, but what do you think? I can't read it. However, perhaps this is it without doubt. How? Show me. After hearing such an exchange, Cliff had also stuck his head in. While turning the pages lightly, we looked through the book as a group. The string binding together the pages is considerably old and, despite the paper, seemed like it would come loose at any moment. A figure, an arrow, and a letter. Even if a commentary or an explanatory note is written, I wouldn't understand it at all. Illustrations of the parts of the arms, magic circles, indicators, and some kind of notes. These sorts of notes are written in the margins in various ways. If you're simply looking at the figure, it resembles the magic formation of a magic tool. Cliff said it alone. Is that so? Oh, I understand it because I studied it recently. I have seen similar magic formations. Perhaps that doll would be a magic tool. I see. I try to hypothesize. The previous former resident, no, perhaps the first resident here, had probably studied the doll. This magic circle might have touched upon some sort of taboo, so it was done secretly. I think the doll was trying to protect this house, like the role of a security guard, and the first resident half completed it. Going off the looks of that doll, it seems there were still a number of problems remaining, but they succeeded up to the point of making it able to move around inside of the estate and fight. However, the first resident disappeared. Whether he moved away with things left half-finished or it was exposed and he was caught, I don't know. It is very likely that he died of an unexpected accident, and the result of the research remains. Probably, the doll at first might have been sleeping on this pedestal all the time. However, it started up for some reason. It moved around while cleaning in the house, and started to act to fight off the intruder. Perhaps, it was programmed that if it finished cleaning, to return to this pedestal in charge. Unfortunately, I think the person who was murdered was recognized to be an intruder by the doll. However, if it goes out to the garden, then it wouldn't have been surprising if someone had witnessed it. But, no, the door of the entrance was broken like that, wasn't it? Come to think of it, in the building, only that door was broken. The former resident might have changed it. For security or something. Since the shape of the door is changed, it wasn't able to open it. Originally it was programmed to patrol the garden, but it gave up because the door couldn't be opened. However, the door was broken open when we entered. Therefore, according to the program, it went around the garden, and we passed each other. After we returned to the upper floor, it caught up. It doesn't seem strange to think that. Anyway, there doesn't seem to be any more dolls. I mean that, this case is closed. Part 7. As a precaution, I further searched the house carefully, and checked on its state for a few more days. I also don't hear the sound in the middle of the night. It is safe. I went to the real estate agent and finished the formal agreement to buy the property. As for the identity of the evil spirit, we said it was an evil demon that was hiding in the basement. A supplier becomes available from the next day and will do the repair work and cleaning. I was asked if I wanted to buy everything including furniture from them, but I decided to go with just the bare minimum of things. As such, it would be better to look around together with Sylphy. That is to say, is it a Japanese-like sense? Since there were a few parts where I wanted to help out on myself, the time when we would actually be able to move in would be about half a month later. From now on, the smiling face of Sylphy floats on my eyes. You see, this is our home. Kya, Rudy, it's lovely. There's a large number of rooms after all. No matter how many children we have, it'll be alright. Thinking about the future as well. Amazing, embrace me. Of course honey, the bed is already prepared. Rudy turned me into a mess. But my face shouldn't be effeminate. It's not a suitable face. Huh, Rudy, were you only able to prepare a house of this level? Sylphy wouldn't say that. Yup, she is not that kind of selfish person. Still, it was the product of hard work. The house was cleared and bought in just a few days. I also got to keep the doll that was haunting it. That doll, it's definitely a magic tool. Normally, it might not be good if you don't submit those kinds of things to the Magic Guild. Oh well, I don't yet belong to the Magic Guild, so it doesn't matter. Since it was a part of the house I bought, I'll just take ownership of it, like that. Part 8. Around the time day ended, I decided to carry out the research materials that were in the basement. Zenoba carries the pedestal, and I carry the books. We'll use it for the study of the moving doll in question. Shisho. On the way back to the Magic University, Zenoba addressed me with a serious look. He carried the huge pedestal over his shoulder. It clearly wasn't made with the consideration that it would ever be carried around given its weight. It's only possible because it's Zenoba. For the time being, it was wrapped in cloth, but when viewed from a distance, he may appear to be carrying a coffin. What is it? The study of this moving doll. Will you entrust it to me? I noticed his eyes unintentionally. Unprecedented determination was seen through the depths of his round glasses. Zenoba said. My total amount of magic is small, and my hands are also clumsy. Even the red dragon figure that I'm trying to do just hinders Shisho and nothing is proceeding at all. That's not it. He said it easily, but I felt the weight of his troubles on his mind. It was not something he said lightly. But with something like this in front of me, I think maybe I can do something. After looking at the book, I think I can understand what the writer wanted to do. Is that so? As both of them love dolls, there may be something only they can understand. Even if they can't understand the language, maybe they can feel something. It will take me some time to understand the research. Although if Shisho does it, it will proceed more quickly. I can't afford to spend all my time researching this doll. It might work if I allow Zenoba. But what would you do if the doll acts violently again? Even if the doll runs away temporarily, if it's me, I will be able to apprehend it without injury. Shisho also should have seen it. Well, there is no problem in that respect. And it would be a bit frightening if it began to move in the middle of the night, but perhaps if you don't charge it in this pedestal, it will not be able to move. As expected, it's unsuitable to store it in Zenoba's room. We better borrow a research room from the Magic University. A room with a firm door. No, since it might have used some kind of taboo technique, it would probably be better to keep the research in a different place. Nanahoshi and I might also be borderline because of our study of teleportation magic, although I think that's alright. Just in case, I will ask for Nanahoshi's opinion on it. I think she's a member of a class guild. Please Shisho, when Shisho's plan is fulfilled, I don't want it to end with me just paying money. However, Zenoba also has various considerations. Although I am a little worried since he becomes single-minded when it comes to dolls. Said the person who allowed it being the case. Please, leave this study to me. When I fell silent, Zenoba seems to have misunderstood it. He knelt on the spot. He placed the pedestal down there and with both hands spread out fell to the ground on the spot. What other choice do I possibly have with you prostrating yourself on the ground, in the snow? I understand. Zenoba, stand. I will leave it to you. Truly? When I said so, Zenoba stood up with haste, his expression beaming with joy. As for this fellow, the change is quick. But, if by some chance there is a possibility that involves in the domain of a forbidden technique, is it a forbidden technique? Well, for the time being, since I will borrow a laboratory from the Magic University, please study it there. Thank you. Zenoba lowered his head greatly again. In that motion a part of the pedestal swept past my face, barely missing the tip of my nose. That's dangerous. What are you going to do if you hit my head? You guys, try not to stand out so much while you're outside. Finally, Cliff muttered alone. Part 9. Thus, Zenoba began research on the autonomous doll, and I obtained a house. The next step is a renovation. That's it guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want more and don't forget to like the videos.